The two best countries at hockey, USA and Canada, they meet once again. A men's rematch from the 2010 Winter Olympics gold medal hockey game that took place. Canada ended up winning 3-2 in overtime, as we just seen a few days ago. The Olympic gold medal game for the women came down to Team USA and Canada, and USA won that. And last night, well, yesterday morning, not even last night. I'm recording this at night, but yesterday morning, we seen Team USA win Olympic gold in hockey for the men's side for the first time since 1980. Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. First, let's talk about the first period. Talk about how that got started. First, it was some hard hits early in that first period. Obviously, they're more not as lenient on fighting when it comes to the Olympics, which makes sense. NHL different rules, but it was some big hits early on. Nothing escalated, at least not at the beginning of the game. Stuff did escalate towards the end of that first quarter, but you had Matt Boldy. He split two defend. He crossed two defenders to score, putting USA up 1-0. It was some more grappling, some more stuff happening down the end of down the stretch of that first period, where it got a little bit more intense between USA and Canada. USA did have a power play, which they weren't able to score on. Then they led 1-0 to end the first period. Both teams had 8 shots on goal. So both teams got out to a really good start. USA was able to score first, and they were able to take 1-0 lead and were in control to start the game. Obviously, this was going to be a close affair between the two teams, which it was, as I get into the second period. And now I'm getting started with the second period. Canada, they had a 5-on-3 advantage at one point and weren't able to score, which is a big part of why they weren't able to win this game, because obviously it came down to 3-on-3 in overtime, which we'll get into later in the video. But Canada not being able to score on that 5-on-3 where they had the two-man advantage, you have to take advantage of that. Like, no pun intended, when you have a two-man advantage, you have to take advantage of that. Even a one-man advantage, obviously, it's not as likely, but with a 5-on-3 advantage and you not being able to score, that's just when it goes to overtime. That's something you look back on. It doesn't come down to 3v3 if you score on that 5-on-3. So then you had a fight around the 3:08 mark. Wasn't really like that beginning. That's probably them not scoring on that 5-on-3 was the most significant part of this game, because it ended up going to overtime where it came down to 3v3. But but then you had the fight break out. Wasn't nothing super crazy. Like I said, less lenient, so they're quicker to break up the fights in the Olympics, which, like I said, makes sense. Then Mikhail McCarr, he scored, tying the game 1-1, and it was 1-1 to end the second period. So it was Canada was able to tie it despite them not scoring on that 5-on-3. But if you get to go from a care and you score on the 5-on-3, you have a 2-1 advantage going into the third period, and now you're in control. The way that USA, they had to only go in the first period despite both teams, even with both teams having 8 shots on goal, they had the advantage because they're already up 1-0. So the pressure is now on Team Canada to score. Team Canada, they weren't able to put the pressure on Team USA to score. They tied it. So now both teams have pressure to score, but the pressure would have been heavier if Canada was able to score and go up 2-1 at that point, because that 5-on-3, like I said, it came back to hunt them at the end of the game. Now the game is tied 1-1, and we're going into the third period. Like I said, that 5-on-3 advantage, not scoring on that, would end up costing them. And the game didn't end in the third period because it wasn't a lot that was really happening. I mean, Hellebuck and Bennington, they both played really great games, and they continued throughout the third period. USA, they had a 4-minute power play, so they also could have ended this game a bit earlier, having a power play for that long, because most power plays are 2 minutes. But Team USA had a 4-minute power play, weren't able to score at all, no goals. So now it's tied. It remains tied. It remains tied 1-1 going to overtime, as neither team was able to score. But with that, I feel like Canada really could have won this game, but they cost themselves. This isn't on the rules. This isn't on officials, nothing like this. They Canada losing ended up coming down to their fault, and really that 5-on-3 advantage that they had and that they weren't able to score on. Because if you had a 2-1 lead going into this third period, knowing the result of the third period, obviously hindsight is 2020. But as we saw in the game, neither team scored in that third period. So even if it's two, obviously their approach would have been different, but you still would the pressure would have been on Team USA to tie the game instead of the pressure being on both of y'all. Obviously, the pressure is on you to still keep the lead, but the pressure is higher on Team USA if they had to come back and tie the game and even potentially win it on a game winner. But now it's 1-1 going into overtime, and whoever scores first is going to be the winner to decide this gold medal game. And this is how the game was decided. Another overtime game in this Olympics. Really exciting Olympics. I think this is what's the last Winter Olympics? 2022. Yeah, this is my first time watching Winter Olympics, ironically. So yeah, this was a really fun experience. But overtime, that's what we're here for. JQ's game-winning goal. Team USA secures their first gold medal in their first gold medal in men's Olympic hockey since 1980. They win the rematch versus Canada from 2010. A 2-1 win. USA, they won it all. They get gold. I know Connor McDavid won Olympic MVP for the hockey side, so shout out to him. Congratulations. But this game was about the goalkeepers and what they were able to do and how spectacular they both were. Connor Hellebuck in the thumbnail for a reason. 42 save attempts, only gave up one goal, had 41 saves, a 97.6 save percentage. Nearly a perfect day. 5-on-3 advantage, didn't allow them to score. Constant pressure on the goal. Just Connor Hellebuck had some really great saves, even with disadvantages, still prevailed, still was able to get the job done. For Canada, Jordan Biggleton, 28 saves, 2 goals against, 26 saves, 92.8 save percentage. He put up that stat line against any other team. Canada likely wins that game. If Canada capitalizes on their side of the puck, if their offense is able to score, then they probably still win this game. Jordan Biggleton did everything he could. There's nothing more he could have did. Obviously, there's the overtime goal. You can say, yeah, then it came down to overtime, but that wasn't to a fault of his own because they both going into overtime. Him and Hellebuck both only gave up one goal. So Jordan Biggleton, nothing to be ashamed of. He had a really good game. But Team USA, it's been a while. Last time they won Olympic gold and on the hockey side for the men was in 1980. Obviously, they had a chance in 2010 when they lost to Canada, and they met up with Canada again and got their revenge. Team USA beat Canada twice this year in hockey. One for the women, one for the men. Team USA takes home gold in both. So that's great. Congratulations to both men's and women's Team USA and for the hockey side of it. But yeah, that was a great game. Canada, they go away with silver. Obviously, that's a bit disappointing because you don't want. Obviously, you always want gold, but you still walk away with something. It's not like they left with. It's not like they didn't leave with anything. So they still get something. Congratulations to them. I was checking some. But yeah, Team USA, they won 2-1. The women's won 2-1 as well. So that's pretty ironic that both games ended 2-1 for the men and women. But yeah, Canada, they had a good showing and had a good run. But USA, they end up winning it. Congratulations to them. Yeah. The overtime 3v3 rule. I mean, when you had a 5-on-3 advantage, that's why I said the 3v3 rule, and then it benefited you multiple times in the tournament in overtime because Canada won an overtime game before. So it's no excuse for them losing. It's just they had opportunities, they weren't able to capitalize, and USA was able to win the game. But Canada's goalkeeper, Jordan Biggleton, he has nothing to be ashamed of. Connor McDavid, really great player, continues to lose. Obviously, it's a team sport, but his luck is just super bad. Another loss on his record book. Super unfortunate, but it's just life sometimes, I guess. But with that being said, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what y'all thought, and share for us to see.